When a friend of mine opened up his anime shop, and like he was trying to get a nice location downtown as well, and he's been bumping around to a couple different places and eventually settled in. But like when he was talking about how much it would cost to exist in like again the prime spots, uh, every month that you didn't turn a profit was the equivalent of a year of lost profits elsewhere. So you know when you start up a business and you go,
Yeah,
I'm starting this up at a loss, and you're going to eventually, you're eventually going to turn it around, but you're expecting that loss initially.
Yeah, costs, overhead,
Yeah.
Until
for at least a while.
exactly until you're clear, you know. That process is accelerated to the by the month.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna die in 3 years of like not turning it around, turn that into 3 months effectively. It's
Like-
that expensive.
And if there's like simple rules, like if you're starting up a restaurant and you want to have people have fun, maybe you have like two little tables outside on the sidewalk. Don't like time it so you start your restaurant up in December,
Yeah.
because then that's at least 4 months of no profits because no one's coming to your restaurant because it's fucking cold.
Who the fuck is
And
going
there's
outside?
snow everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Hope
you
you're on.
wanna-
Hope you're on fucking Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to start up in May or something, you know?
I remember reading an article way back, I think it was last year, where of Canadian cities, Montreal was listed as dead last of every major Canadian city in the country in terms of starting a business.
Wow.
Really?
Because, and this doesn't apply to all businesses, that obviously does not apply to our business, for example, but if you open up a restaurant, if you open up a toy store, if you open up anything that requires a person to physically walk in the fucking door to buy a product, the city can just kill your business randomly by parking construction outside of it for 6
Yes.
months.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
We have that little mart that's up the way.
There's
We
lots
have
of
that
that.
little mart that's on like
Yeah.
on a street nearby, and like when they started up, I was like, oh, fantastic! A little mart that has a bit more types of food that we can just like, you know, if we ever need something before we go into a podcast or recording. And they started constructing on the apartments right in front of it, and they had to close down their main door, and it says, please use side door.
Might as well just quit now.
And they,
Well,
and-
somehow they stuck it out, and then the construction was finished. Yay! A week later, they can start constructing on the other side. Do not use this side door. Go back to main door, and they're still there. So big ups to them.
And like they don't even have the decency to have they don't even have the decency to have the little sign with the bowing guy, the bowing construction man. That's like, you know, the one where he's like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We're sorry that this place is not available."
I
I
remember going down to the west end of NDG near the university.
no damn good.
Yeah, I like that neighborhood.
Notre Dame de Grâce.
I was seeing a friend there, and like they had a fucking sign next to oh god, what was it? They had a sign next to that overpass. You know, the one that used to feed onto the highway.
Sure do.
This was back in 2015. And the sign said construction until 2019
So here's the
because they're rebuilding that fucking overpass.
yeah. So here's the thing though. Tinfoil hat time, right?
Yeah, no.
Because
For sure.
because you're saying that, right? And here I've thought about this before, and what my conclusion with like the way it's like your business gets shut the fuck down, all right? Think about the think about the Falcone crime family.
Yeah.
Right? You're setting your business up, someone walks in, Montreal at 300% corruption means it takes about an hour after you put that first sign we're open for business
Yeah.
for someone to walk in and be like, hey,
man.
Oh, you guys look like you need some protection around here, huh? Right?
No, we're good.
Nah, I think you need some protection.
Do
you
I?
know?
So you joke with an Italian accent, but it'd be a very thick French accent.
would be-
and the guy would have a biker jacket.
He would
on.
have a fucking biker jacket on. He sure would. And he'd be revving his motorcycle.
Don't
Exactly.
you want to help mom out?
So they'd come on over, and then someone would have a conversation. And let's say that the biker leaves unpleased with the way things were to go. For some reason.
Yeah,
all
I
right?
don't know why, but
He would let someone know. Someone else would say something to someone. And who knows? Hey, look, there's a construction job that happens to be necessary right in front of this business.
in front of my only parking
A
spot.
construction job that I have literally never seen anyone work ever in my whole life.
A statistic just came out in our city that stated that over 80% of construction jobs, I think, that were are contracts that were dealt out this year were like competed by 2 companies or sometimes 1.
Yes, I am a competitive company.
It's pretty clear, cut and dry, why the construction workers also show up to the construction site on their motorcycles.
Yes.
And perhaps that decision
construction cycles
to keep that construction site in its place
dude,
and shut that business down.
You need 8 guys to watch that one guy work that backhoe.
Yeah.
And that happens to be right in front of the business that didn't feel like it needed protection. Tinfoil hat time. I don't know.
That's a crazy story.
I don't know.
I'm going to say that not less, but a slightly more than 50% of all businesses have that problem.
It's
that one that you're describing.
I remember. Did you?
It's bad.
We used to know a guy. I don't know if either of you guys would remember him because I don't know if you guys were in any of his classes. But he was. His brother ran one of the clubs downtown back when in Cégep, and his brother was like, "Hey man, you can fucking run the club tonight. I gotta go.
Gotta go.
But that also happened to be the night that Maurice came in for his envelope.
Ah.
And he described it as like, oh, everyone's like, oh, hey, Maurice. I'm making up a figure. I don't know this guy's name. Hey, Maurice, how you doing? And Maurice said, hey, give me that fucking envelope.
Yeah.
And then, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
On my way to the Versus Center, the new fighting game hangout spot. It's off Saint Laurent, so it's on Saint Laurent, excuse me. So going up to it sometimes.
Oh, you mean the esports place?
It's so Montreal Esports opened up,
yeah.
and right next door, they have some extra rooms that they own.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is being rented out by the Versus Center, where Montreal Street Fighter and the Smash players and the anime Air Dashers and stuff.
The Blade Strangers.
All of them. Yeah, all the communities come together for fighting games and hang out up there.
SNK Heroin.
Exactly. But so I was going up there sometimes. Obviously, it's like a busy spot. And you see some shit, and I remember specifically. I want to say it was maybe 2.5 to 3 weeks ago, going up there and seeing at least 2 the areas where the one, there was a car, and it was a car parked, and 3 police cars surrounding it, right? Serious type looking situation.
3 of them.
But everyone's just kind of standing around, not really. Doesn't look like a serious situation in terms of how people's demeanor.
Casual.
But there's a lot of cop cars just parked around this one car not moving.
Concerning amount.
And then further up, another motorcycle with a cop next to it, and just kind of whatever's going on up there. And I remember on the way up, just kind of turning to my friend that runs the place and just being like, yeah, a lot of something going on.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? And he's like, oh yeah, so the rally, the bike rally is in town.
That's right.
And the Angels are having their out of town specials coming in to visit the VIPs. And so I don't know who wasn't given what, but seems that down at the precinct, the order was given to just give him a hard time.
Rattle some cages.
Just shake, drag your
drag the baton across
the bars a little bit, and nothing's going on, but just
ride up and hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey.
And that was the vibe coming off of that, because when you see a car that's someone's trying to run away or escape, and you surround them, you're locked in, you're not going anywhere. It looked like one of those. But just a bunch of cops going anyway, so da-da-da-da-da. And it's just oh,
you want to move your car? No, I'm good.
So that shit's weird here, man. Montreal's bad with it. And I think the only way we can solve our problem is with battle construction vehicles.
Well, I was just thinking about this. I'm thinking about the differences between say, let's take New York or Chicago, areas which I'm sure have many organized crimes occurring. There's a system. Why would you break a person's legs when you could just instead politely put a construction?
Right.
Yeah. Why would you threaten somebody instead of just buy their building? Do you see the difference?
And then that business goes away, and then perhaps a business that allows
a friendly business
to wet my beak. With so many nickels and dimes might open up
when there's
in this favorable
when a
location.
construction hole where 3 guys are staring into the hole for weeks on end. There's nothing, and the poor like guy that's trying to sell like artisanal latte donuts is staring outside his window, seeing the guys look at the hole and seeing his empty restaurant. What is his actual course of action there?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I mean, you could put up signs on the fences and lead people with an arrow and say, "We're still here if you want your donut," but it doesn't fucking
If there's
work.
a regular haunt that anyone in any major metropolitan city knows very well, like I know exactly where it is, and you ever wonder why do they, if there is some construction near or around it, if you ever wonder, I know where it is, why do they have this giant sign saying "We are open"? It's because they are so scared of people that are new not knowing where the fuck you are and if you are open, because the entire sidewalk is cordoned off and there's like a little wooden ramp over a moat to try to get to it.
Okay.
I fucking hate those little wooden ramps. They're terrifying.
There's a really good wooden ramp that's very solid and doesn't like bend and bounce, but you see it very rarely.
They
and
use
it's always the
plywood
shit
most of the
plywood,
time.
yeah, most of the time.
Okay, now take all of this that we're saying and apply the modifier that is your business only gets foot traffic when it's not taking damage cold outside.
Yeah, so that's
So foot traffic-
That's 2 debuffs.
You get a huge status ailment just being here
There are 4.5
Because-
Business at risk.
because there are just a quarter of the year.
4.5 to 5 months, in some cases 5.5
Let's
months.
honestly let's call it 6 most of the time.
Maybe 8.
There are 6 months. Okay, there are 4 months
That's
in which your
until
foot
August.
traffic is going to kick down to like 10% of
Who
normal.
are we kidding? There's
two.
8 months total.
There are 2 bonus months I would
Yeah.
add on either end, in which foot traffic will be about 50%. You really only have 6 good months of foot traffic in this city a year.
And if
Sometimes 3.
and if someone decides to put a couple pylons and a fence up in front
all
of
it
that
takes.
door,
That's all it takes.
and then of course you got the hole digger watchers. And then the hole diggers standing in front of your business like bouncers.
Yes.
And if someone were to be like, perhaps I feel like an artisanal donut today.
No, je pense pas, monsieur.
You know what my favorite is?
Spicy.
Is when you can have
Spicy.
you can have the suspicion
No.
that our police friends and our biker pals have made some sort, and our construction bros have made some form of informal arrangement
The
in which
Constructicons.
you have the construction site that is never worked on ever, but shuts down multiple lanes, with the hidden cop car to cut the people cutting through the restaurant parking lot, which is the same as running a stop sign for tickets. And sure enough, when people get fed up with the construction, go, fuck it, and just drive through the fucking parking lot of a Burger King or something.
Yep.
It's all a rich tapestry.
You know.
What did you do, Wooly?
It's a fun city.